Hello, everyone. This is Henny Espinosa with Just Wish Foundation. Today, we are joined by Robert McPhee, president of Open Sesame Coding for Kids. It's a group of high school and college volunteers who teach computer coding to children at homeless and domestic violence shelters in Orange County, California. Thanks so much for joining us on Just Wish, Robert.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
So, Robert, tell us how your organization was founded. It was founded in 2018, right? On how two teens from Irvine, California got the idea to create this, and one of them is your sister.
Yeah, that's right. So, about 5 years ago, my sister was volunteering in a local homeless shelter. And so she was working in the kitchen, washing dishes and serving breakfast to these people. And there were kids there. And so she played with the kids and clean dishes in the kitchen. And on the wall in the kitchen, there was a sign that had the old saying, give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. And so that kind of got her thinking about if there was something more she could be doing, and specifically something that she could teach to the kids.
Mm.
And so that's kind of how she got the idea of teaching coding. And then she partnered with her friend Milan, who had some experience teaching kids in homeless shelters after school with after school tutoring. And so they kind of formed this idea and reached out to a few of these shelters and
Hmm.
said yes. And the program just grew from there.
Hmm. Just to give people an idea, like if you teach coding to children, to teach coding to those at an early age, how will this eventually help them? Like, what kind of skills can they acquire from it?
Yeah, so that's a great question because obviously there's lots of different skills and different gaps to close. But the reason why we teach coding is because we believe that it's the language of the future and that it will help
Mm.
get jobs. So like right now we're seeing a lot of huge expansions and growth of technology, and so we're trying to enable them to not just consume this but also be able to create this technology. So
Mm.
something that we kind of sometimes hear is that the jobs that will exist when today's elementary school students enter the workforce, those jobs don't even exist yet. And so
Mm.
we don't have, a crystal ball. We can't see what those jobs will be, but we know that they'll include coding and computer
Mm.
skills. So
Hmm.
that's why we want to enable them.
It's a skill that's a must have in the future or
Exactly.
heading into the future. Okay. Okay. So, there are tens of thousands of school children in Orange County that are homeless or, are vulnerable right now. Um, what was did at that time, and then now that you've been involved in the group, did you really see kind of the impact this is going to have in the community, especially for the children? How receptive were they also when this whole idea was started?
Yeah, I think Uh, you know, it varies from kid to kid, definitely like how interested they are at first. But one thing that's been really nice and fulfilling to see is that we'll get a lot of kids who maybe aren't super interested at first, but then with good volunteering um, and just trying to make the sessions fun, then they will open up and become more interested and eventually learn something.
Hmm.
And even for the kids who don't necessarily, learn the most, we're still just trying to make this, a fun experience and give
Yeah.
them some exposure.
And the homeless shelters, the domestic violence shelters, the parents, they're supportive as well with when they were approached by the idea.
Yeah, yeah, they've been super supportive and appreciative. Yeah, it's been
That's
great.
great. That's great. So, let's talk about the backbone of your organization, which is, of course, the volunteers. So, how did your group kind of approach other young people to really, of course, because this is investing their time, their energy, their knowledge. Um, how are they approach? How well do they receive this opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others?
Yeah, well, we have great volunteers. So our volunteers come from the City of Irvine Youth Action Team, and then also from different high school and college like computer science clubs. And The volunteers have been really great. They're knowledgeable about coding, so they're very qualified to teach, and then they're also just empathetic and good listeners. So
Mm.
if the kids just want to talk, they can be there for them. They also make the activities fun, and so they'll lead group games outside, and get the energy out that way. And so I think they're really good kind of mentors and role models for these kids, and they've just they continue and have done a really great job.
For you guys, what do you guys hope the volunteers would learn from this experience? Because obviously this goes beyond just passing on a knowledge or passing on a skill. This is hopefully kind of like an eye-opening moment for them as well, right? With the realities around them.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I mean, I guess we hope that for all of us volunteers, it will help make us more aware of the situations and more empathetic and just better people. It's good to serve and good to learn about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about you, Robert, and how you became involved with the organization. I mean, your sister was a founder. How did you become involved in it? Like, did she encourage you to join? Like, what was it? Did you have a particular experience or did you witness something that made you say, I want to be part of this?
Yeah, so just throughout growing up, I've been part of like my church youth group and then also the Boy Scouts of America. And so both of those organizations put a huge emphasis on community service. And so that's always been a big part of my life and it's something that I've been interested in. And so when I heard about Code Open Sesame, from my sister, and I got to go to some of the sessions and I got to see the work that was being done, and like you say, it was kind of eye-opening. It's not something you experience every day. It's a very unique experience, and so being able to go and see what was going on, I'm just very grateful to have the opportunity to join.
Hmm. And now you're president of the group,
Yeah.
right? Well, how does that make you feel? And kind of as president, what are your goals and mission for the group?
Oh, I'm very grateful to be in this role, and I just hope to be able to continue the good work. There's always going to be people who we can help, and as long as we can continue this process, then that's what success looks like.
Hmm. Well, we at Justice Foundation are just like when we read about you guys, we were like, wow, this is really inspiring because this is young people helping other young people in need. And I think that's something to be said, when you for these young people, I can imagine kind of the comfort and the motivation that it gives them when they see other young people willing to invest their time and effort into helping them succeed later on in life. And that is really, teaching a man by providing them the tools that they need, to better themselves and their future. And so we would like to do our part in supporting you guys with a monetary donation. And we hope that you guys help more and more children in need and also get more volunteers. Because like you said, this is an experience that hopefully the volunteers will take to heart and it will make them better people as well, when they go through this whole experience. So it's really a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for that. It's you who makes this possible, and so yeah, thank you.
Carry on, Robert, and to your group as well, more power.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.